specializes on horoscope, fortune telling, psychic readings, and spiritual guides. With over 30 years of experience, she has been touching lives positively, bringing hope to the broken, healings to the depressed, and answers to the questions about nature. You can call Sister Dubong on 718-253-7273. The number again, 718-253-7273. Or you can also come to 1752 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn in New York. 1752 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh,
King and Queen Radio. You're listening to King and Queen Radio. DJ Bugs.
Real sound, no faking. That's what I say, yeah. Oh, so beautiful, yeah. Are you feeling down today? And you wanna get yourself happy? Are you feeling sad today? Are you feeling down today? And you wanna get yourself happy? Are you feeling sad today? Tune in to 93.5 King and Queen Radio. You need best songs and shows on your radio. Sister Dobong shows every day from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Yeah. Don't give up, just tune into your radio. Every Monday, the we go Jamaican and African show from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Oh, tune into King and Queen Radio, where you will feel inside. King and Queen Radio, where no one to talk to. King and Queen Radio, yeah, 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 yeah. King and Queen Radio, don't let your morning so boring. King and Queen Radio, tune into your best station. King and Queen Radio, your best music, best shows. King and Queen Radio, you need a beautiful Monday, yeah. King and Queen Radio, from Monday to Monday, every Wednesday, 12:20 in the countdown. Every Tuesday to Thursday, King and Queen with arts and music. Your jazz music every day, from 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. Country music every day, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. Jamaican music every Monday to Saturday. Special life music from Caliban, Africa, every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. International reggae dancehall every day, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The best online radio from New York, we take it worldwide.
good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Africa. What a beautiful morning it is here. I am so happy. I'm feeling so good. I mean, I enjoyed the show so much last week. It was so beautiful. I want to say good morning to you, Pop Mark. How are you this morning? I see you over there looking all sharp and dressed up early in the morning. You must have a great event this day going on for you. Yeah, Lot, you've been busy, Lot. So tell us what you've been up to. There's so much going on, Lot. You got so much to tell about the station and everything. So I know you got a lot to talk about, Lot. So let us know what's going on. And good morning to you. I hope you didn't have no breakfast yet, because I didn't have any breakfast, and I can't wait for later on to find out what we'll be eating. But I want to say a good morning to my team out there. We just had a great show. All me and Tony danced. We danced it up. We got so much new stuff coming. Oh my goodness, you're just gonna be so excited what we bring in for you. So you got to check us out. WVIP 93.5 FM, King and Queen Radio, BrooklynStation.com. And we're live every Monday night on KingandQueenRadio.com, BrooklynStation.com, SisterTheBound.com. And you got to hear us, me and DJ Tony Blend. We get down. So Africa, we are in America every Monday night. So come along with me and Tony Blend. But right now I'm with DJ Pop Mouth and you know who, Mr. Lot Sundays.
Yeah.
And here we go to start off this beautiful show, Lot. So tell us what's going on.
All right, my people. It's another great Monday, which is already Tuesday morning here in Africa, from the beautiful city of Lagos, holding it down for the station for King and Queen Radio as an advocate, presenter, and of course a true representative of the station here in the motherland. We're kicking it healthy and hearty every Monday. We bring you the best of the Monday night show together with the CEO herself, Sister Dubong, and the CEO and owner of King and Queen Radio, owner of Sister Dubong platform, owner of Brooklyn Station, and of course a big personality, and a changing life type of personality. So we're here again to make sure that we give you the best of the programs, and we do this every Monday, 9 p.m. EST time, Eastern Standard Time, to 12 a.m. and of course from 12 a.m. to 3 a.m., which is from 5 a.m. Nigerian time or West African time to 8 a.m. in the morning. So of course in another time, in another country, the differences of time zone are always there. So in another country it's going to be a different time. So but we are all we all do this in respect to the way nature does her things, so time is a very powerful force. So we welcome you once again, our great listeners from all over the world. We thank you for joining this Monday night show, and of course we always bring you the great package for today. This is always going to be as unique as amazing, and stay tuned for tonight. This morning, I beg your pardon. This morning is going to be very, very nice and educative, because we brought you, last week we talked about a lot of stuff, and this morning we're also going to be shedding more light on them. And then we have a lot of dialogues, discussions, and very beautiful topics and ideas for you today, this morning, before you go to your places of work, on your way to your normal day routines, what you do, whatever you do to keep your day going, providing hard and working hard to provide for your family, and always standing big up to you, all the people out there who are always fighting for something, for something good with their lives. So it's always at meaning to your existence, because you have to find something to live for. You can have something to fight for, and then it gives meaning to your existence. So what we do is we preach King and Queen Radio, we preach content, we preach creativity, we preach love, we preach multiculturalism, and of course unity amongst people from all over the world. And as a station, as a unifying factor, we tend to bring people together. And as a multicultural station, we bring you the best of programs, the best of music, and the best of the best content. So enjoy some songs for now, and then we come back and start the show proper.
So we sign up the party. Yo, she a pull up for me and make me feel like a kid. Me friend wa fey, yeah, me friend wa fey. I know you would, please don't leave me lonely. Yeah. Me friend wa fey, yeah, me friend wa fey. Now call it me friend wa fey, yeah. Why, let me tell you one thing, girl. She like the one me singing me song, and I follow me on my Twitter, Instagram. Oh na. Yeah. I'm in love with your shape. I'm in love with everything you do that make me crazy. Scene, I'm in love with your shape. I'm in love with everything they do will make me crazy. Shake that body, girl. Get that body, girl. Rock that body, girl. Get my man, that body, girl. Me love the way you make me cry. Ever since you came to my life, you are mine. I wonder if you get that smile. I found that bust my mind. So don't waste my time, and I call it, yeah.
You're listening to
because I'm in love with you now. Me friend wa fey, yeah. Me friend wa fey. What's the main guy? Me say that na me friend wa fey. Yeah. Don't waste my time, Me friend wa fey. Me frère wa fait, yeah. Yo, Teddy, another one classic man. Right now within a Teddy yard, doing something much more for the girl, alongside Teddy. So what's up, man? I love the rhythm. Let's up.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
Give me time on your space. Make all up for the place. I don't got ever down for your love. I give you all that you dream of. I'm a than a good, she nice. She give me all the melody and vibes. I'm a than a good, she nice. Oh, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, that loving, that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Some of them are young, some of them are snitching. She be my melody, I've been searching. She's the fine girl I've been searching for, yeah, yeah.
I'm okay, Eminado. She fine past 3, mommy, what now? Your waist personality, they cause kata kata. Oh, I'm tempting to touch your body, oh. If you don't know, you gon' know.
Loving you is all I want to do. Make you come turn me to moo.
I'ma get shaky like that, like a dad for me, Jaji. Come rotate it for your Zadi, black drop top Maserati. I'ma get shaky like that, though, like a dad for me, Zadi. Come rotate it for your Zadi, black drop top Maserati. Give me that loving, give me that loving, that loving, that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me time on your side, make all up for the place. Don't catch me. I'm a good, she nice.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
Yeah.
DJ Pop.
Give me that love, yeah. Give me that love, yeah.
Listening to King and Queen Radio.
Give me that love,
King and Queen Radio. You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
Number one
DJ Pop Max. DJ Pop Max.
On the beat, Queen Craft.
Say yo, hello, how are you doing, girl? How are you doing, girl? How are you doing, hello? Hello, how are you doing, girl? How are you doing, girl? How are you doing, hello? She want top up. She want a guy who go top up. She want a rich guy who fit top up. She don't want any guy who no fit top up. She want top up. She want a guy who go top up. She want a rich guy who fit top up. She don't want any guy who no fit top up. And none of me. Excuse me, baby, let me talk to you. Excuse me, can I have your number? Excuse me, girl, I wanna make you mine. She said she's not interested. Excuse me, baby, let me chat with you. Excuse me, will you be my lover? Excuse me, girl, I wanna make you mine. She said she's not interested. She said she want man like Adeleke. She said she want man like Dangote. She said she want man like Aderola. She said not the robbers. She said she want guy like Timaya. She said she want guy like Opio. She said she want guy like Starboy. Not the robbers. Oh my girl, you on top up. She no like any guy with the fuck up. If you no get money for your pocket, make you shut up. Hello, how are you doing, girl? How are you doing, girl? How are you doing, hello? Hello, how are you doing, girl? How are you doing, girl? How are you doing? Hello, hello. She want top up, top up. She want the guy who go top up, top up. She want the rich guy who fit top up, top up. She don't want any guy who no fit top up, top up. She want top up, top up. She want the guy who go top up, top up. She want the rich guy who fit top up, top up. She don't want any guy who no fit top up, top up.
Wow, we're having a busy morning here this morning, Africa. The traffic is going, everybody is just up and about, moving, and we are happy to be with you this morning here, and it's beautiful. Last week you was talking a lot about so much interesting topics. Boy, I can go on and on and on, but everybody's asking me over in the States, over in Brooklyn, tell us a little bit more about Egypt and the race of Egypt. Now, do you believe, Lot, the race that's in Egypt now, have they always been there? Are they Egyptian? Was they the one that conquered Egypt? And how did the original Egyptians was taken away from Egypt? Give us a story on that. I don't know if we should account the biblical part, because the biblical is history, but sometimes, it could have been things also put inside of there, whatever the people who wrote the verses and the Bible, they put in their history, but they could have made it their history and not our history. So give us a little bit about maybe your investigation for some of the elders about Egypt, and why did the Igbo tribe leave Egypt in the first place, and how did they just get settled in Africa? Go over that. You mentioned in some your segments before, but we just love to hear the history a little bit more in detail. Please, Lot, give us some insight on that. And I know you was out there, can't wait. Good morning, Africa. Yes, Africa is awake.
Africa is indeed awake.
Africa is awake, and you're awake with us this morning. So we want to say welcome. Africa is awake.
Peace and blessings. And before I start, I would like to say, I would like to give like a welcoming remark once again in ancient Egyptian language. So it goes like Aka Dua Kofur Bi'u Bi'a Kefu Dudu No'ur Afa'an Enuteru Hotep Ankh Uja Sunep Anok Seba Lord Sunday. Once again, I welcome you to this great, beautiful show. And I just said my name is Lord Sunday in ancient Egypt, which means like Hotep Ankh Uja Sunep. So it's like you can say my name is Zina, or you can say Hotep Ankh Uja Sunep Zina. So we welcome you to this great, beautiful show today. You see, people without a knowledge of their own history or where they come from, they're gonna be like they're not. This is the modern day society. This is the modern world, and I'm not going to say there are wanderers, but people who have no history of where they come from, like in terms of rich cultural history, and they don't have a background or a little idea of where they come from. They would always have a rigid future in terms of their documentation. So where do the ancient Egyptians come from? I wouldn't say they came from another place, so it will be somehow, because this is where they originated from. Ancient Egyptians came from the land of the origin that is today called Africa. the land of the origin, is today what is being called Africa. The Greek and other parts of the world have a name they call us. We have a name we call the Americans. We have a name we call the Indians. The Indians have a name they call Americans, and the rest of the world. So the name they gave us was Africa, after Africanus. But then our name was, the names, we had many names: Al-Kabulan, land of the origin, land of the black people, land of the people of the sun. So ancient Egypt, the word Egypt was not, it was a given name by the Greek, Egyptos, which is from it. It was not the name given to us. It's an Egypt name from the Greeks. Why? Because they used to come to Egypt and study. Egypt was a school. They used to come to Egypt and study. Egypt has one of the oldest schools in Alexandria. Not even in Alexandria, then other places, close to the Nile, where the Pharaoh was residing, in Gaza and the rest of them. There were schools all over the places. So the Greeks came and they called us the Egyptians. They called the Kemet. The ancient name of Egypt was Kemet. So, which is fused with the upper and the lower part of Egypt. Other sides of Egypt were also, side of the modern day Egypt we know today was also called the Kush, which is fused together with the ancient part of Sudan and the rest of them. So Egypt was a civilization. Ancient Egypt was a civilization in the northeast Africa, situated in the Nile Valley. Ancient Egyptian civilization followed prehistoric Egypt, that is before history, and coalesced around 3100 BC, years before Christ, according to conventional Egyptian chronology. So with political unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under Menes, that's the first emperor. The first pharaoh of Egypt was called Menes. So often identified as Narmer. The history of ancient Egypt occurs as a series of stable kingdoms, separate periods of relative instability, known as the intermediate periods. The Old Kingdom of Egypt, the Old Bronze Age, these are the Middle Kingdom Age, the Middle Bronze Age, and the New Kingdom and the Late Bronze Age. All these ages are, if you follow these categories of all these ages, you discover that ancient Egypt has its documentaries according to these different ages. So Egypt has reached the pinnacle of power in its in the New Kingdom, ruling much of Nubia and a sizable portion of Levant, after which it entered a period of slow decline. During the course of history, Egypt was invaded or conquered by a number of foreigners, including the Hyksos, the Libyans, the Nubians, the Assyrians, the Achaemenians, Persians, Macedonians, Alexander the Great, don't forget that, Ptolemaic kingdom. And so many people had interest in Egypt. They want to know they want to know what these people are all about. Do you know why? Don't worry, just sit back and relax. There are a lot of things we're going to say, as we will try as much as possible to give a summary, because ancient Egypt it can fit into the size of a dictionary. So the thing is, it is the first empire in the world, the Egyptian empire. It is the first empire before the Roman Empire, before other empires of the world existed. This is the first empire in the world. This is where civilization was born. This is where science was born. This is where religion was born. I wouldn't say so many things, but a lot of people owe ancient Egypt a lot of I would say thank you. They owe them a lot of credit because of ancient history of Kemet. So the success of ancient Egyptian civilization came partly from its ability to adapt to the conditions of the Nile River for agriculture. The first profession in ancient Egypt, I think one of them was agriculture. So the predictable flooding and the controlled irrigation of the fertile valley produced surplus crops, which supported a more defense population and social development and culture. with resource to spare the administration, sponsored mineral exploitation, valley surrounding. There are so many things I would like to talk about. I'm just so happy today. But let's look at what Egypt is all about in general. They have contributed to in terms of science, mathematics, geometry, agriculture, architecture, and almost everything in physics and everything you can name it, and most of all in spirituality. Now, ancient Egypt. Don't forget, before we some of the two or the oldest places in Africa, or in fact every other places in Africa has been in existence for a very long time. They were inhabitants, but different languages, but in Africa. Don't forget, Ethiopia was also one of the oldest, if not even older than Egypt. So Ethiopia is one of the oldest nation on earth. Just like Egypt, they are some of the two oldest nations on earth. A nation where you can call and say, these people came together, brought something, and then they were able to rule themselves and as part of their own civilization, and then bring something, develop a form of their writing, a means for communication, and a military, develop an economy of their own, form a writing, form an education system of their own, where they can exchange ideas and pass moral values to their children and to the upcoming generations. It was such an amazing feeling. Right now, as I speak, I feel like as if I have this deep imagination, and I have the gift of going in terms of imagination. Like I picture myself as if I'm there. So it's very interesting to note that ancient Egypt is where civilization began. This is where civilization was born. Let's look at the contributions of Egypt. They have the papyrus sheet, the ink, the papyrus. The papyrus are the earliest paper-like materials. All other civilizations or stone, clay tablets, animal hide, wood materials, they were writing materials. They could document things on the papyrus, and the ink for which you used to write today was discovered by the Egyptians. But they used a feather, they would just tap in, use the feather and write. It began with the Egyptians. And today's medicine, it was in ancient Egypt that medicine as we know it today was developed. And although the supernatural elements still played a large role in their understanding of health, Egyptians made medicine with what they could find in their natural surrounding. They were the first people to do that. Writing. Egyptians were the people who discovered, like one of the early people to discover, because of course the Chinese people have their own history of writing, the Indians have their own history of writing, the Greeks have their own writing. But remember what I told you. I said the Greeks always came to Egypt to learn. They always, I don't know who brought the issue of everything started with the Greeks. No. It started with the Egyptians. The Greeks came to Egypt to learn. Pythagoras spent 15 years in Egypt before he developed the Pythagoras theorem, which is a square is equals to b square minus c square, and the rest of them. All these things, hypotenuse, and the rest of these things were discovered in Egypt. These guys were there before anything. So you can allude that to writing. Over time, Egyptians added other elements to their writing system, including alphabetical like characters that stood for certain sounds and characters. Writing allowed the Egyptians to keep accurate records and maintain control of their large empire. Papyrus sheets, the paper, papyrus sheets, and then Egyptians learned how to make durable documentations. And then irrigation. They were good. Like I said, they tap water from the river Nile. I don't know the kind of system these guys use. There was nothing like electricity at that time, but there was something like a hydro, something like you can move like a wheel, spinning wheel that would have to draw water from the well or something. That has to do with the spinning wheel, that like the tires of a chariot or something. So in the fields of mathematics too, they contribute geometry, pyramids, buildings, mathematics, numbers. They were skilled in mathematics and astronomy. Do you know why? They read the stars. These guys were the first people to start reading in astronomy, in stars. I know that this ancient knowledge are as old as man, and many cultures started it. But then, Egyptians method has dated as old as it's been a long time. I can't fathom, not even longer than carbon dating. Yeah, and then another thing is the mummification, the Egyptian mummy. The mummification was another significant achievement of the ancient Egyptians. This process was used to preserve the bodies of a deceased person, maybe a pharaoh, a loved person, somebody that is maybe a notable figure in the society, a powerful person, a rich person, or somebody from a royal family passed away. They would mummify that person. If, for example, today, maybe let's say King and Queen Radio was existing in ancient Egypt, maybe Lord passed away, or somebody close to the station passed away, they would mummify me. They would take me for the mummification process. They will remove my intestines. They have skilled people that perform surgeries. You can imagine that. They will remove your intestine and anything that will cause rot in your system, in your stomach, or anything that will make your body to decay. They will remove it. They will spray your body with salt to prevent decay, put honey, wrap your body in embalmment, and then they will have to do other process of mummification. Your body will be preserved for thousands of years without being decayed. Do you know how much they mummify a body today in the present world? Before they preserve a corpse in a mortuary today, it's going to take you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Trust me, these people were way beyond their time. All right, now another thing is the breath mint, like the mint, the tampon, the others printed medical document, papyrus, airbus, refers to the use of soft papyrus tampons by the Egyptian women, for a very long time. Dentists, toothpaste, and breath mints, eye makeup, wigs, barbers, gorgeous jewelries were all crafted objects made of metals. Another contribution of the ancient Egyptians were the clocks. The clock you use today. Ancient Egyptians were the first to use the sundial clocks. They used the something called a gnomon, like gnomon, which was a stick or a pillar. They correlated and they use it in the measurement of time. In order to tell the time, the Egyptians invented two types of clock. Obelisks were first used as the sun clocks by noting how the shadows move around its surface. Look, when you keep an object, standing object, the sun will reflect on it, and then it will create a shadow depending on the direction of the sun. These people were smart as hell. These people were smart as hell. They started using human beings. Somebody will stand, maybe standing, and then he will pointing his hand towards the northern side or toward the south. And then they believe where the sun is rising is where the person will point his hand. So when the person will stand there, he will be fed, he will be taken care of, let his hand be pointed. Usually they use slaves for this. Then the person will point his hand upward, and then the sun will be reflecting. The Mayans also use this. I think the Yucatans and the Mayans, they also use this, and I believe they got it from ancient Egypt. Somebody will point his hands upward. He will stand there as long as the person can stand there, just to measure time, and they will be taking note of his shadow. They have a measurement around the person that gives their own time, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? So they put around that. So they were the first people to discover clock. And then the Egyptian makeup. The Egyptian invented eye makeup as far back as 4000 BC. They convert soot with a lead mineral called galena to create a black ointment known as kohl. Look at the pharaohs. If you look at their makeups, even in their books, in documentaries, in movies, you discover there's a way they do makeups on the eyes of the pharaoh. They create an eye of Horus on all their eyes with a black, something black. That ointment, that black ointment is known as kohl, K-O-H-L, kohl. Now, these people were good. They know makeup, but they didn't call it makeup. They call it a different ancient Kemite name. Now, the Egyptian pyramids. The ancient Egyptian pyramids, is one of the famous things that, has been famous for its mummies and mummification of the pharaohs. This is where the pharaohs are buried. and some of the mummies are considered sacred because they don't just use it for tombs. They consider certain places temples. They can create temples and other tombs like that for other rituals they do, but mostly it's only the pharaohs are usually people that are rich that are buried in the pyramids. The pyramids are perhaps, the most famous of all the ancient Egyptian achievements. The pyramids of Giza, the pyramids of, there are many, almost hundreds and thousands of pyramids. Some of them actually stand the test of time, and some of them faded with time. Now, they have the calendar. The Egyptians were the first people to develop the calendar which we use today. The ancient Egyptians devised the solar calendar, recording the yearly reappearance of Sirius. You know the star Sirius? Yes, Sirius, Sirius, the dog star in the eastern sky. It was a fixed point, which it always appeared. There's a specific month which that star appeared. I can't really remember, but without a calendar, the ancient Egyptians had no way of knowing when the annual flooding of the Nile will begin. So that was how, because of that agriculture, because of that discovery, they started discovering new other things. They were capable of doing so many things, So today when you go to the world and look at your calendar, you need to give the ancient Egyptians their credit. This enabled them to create the first calendar ever in history, the plow. It's called the plow. Egyptian calendar. Agriculture was in fact the backbone of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Now another thing is the Egyptian, they call it the hieroglyphs, which pictures used to stand for symbols, which you can, you look at the picture of that bird, then you look at the picture of the sun god, then you look at the picture of Ptah, Ptah, you look at the picture of Anubis, the picture of Isis, the picture of Horus, the picture of Set, the picture of Thoth, and the rest of them, like Tutankhamun today. Like if you mention King Tutankhamun, King Tut, the ancient Egyptian, the boy king, he was one of the pharaohs of Egypt. The only way they could write his name, most often they use the hieroglyphs, and then when you look at it, you look at its name translated to King Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun means the living image of Amun, the sun god. Now we'll come to that. Now the inventions of ancient Egypt. So many. They discovered the toothpaste for which you use today. They were using powdered ashes of ox hooves. Do you know ox? The hooves. They will burn an ox, then the powder, the hooves on an off. That thing that looks like a canvas. Just like a horse has its own hooves. The hooves of an ox. They will burn it, they will put mire on it with some powder and then some eggshells they will grind it, and they use it to brush their teeth. My goodness God, these guys were way beyond their time. And now they have surgical instruments as well. They also have wigs. The wigs that our women wear today can be accredited to the ancient Egyptians. These guys were amazing. And don't forget, the lawyers today in the courtrooms are wearing the wigs that has been carved and has been inspired by the ancient Egyptians, because the pharaohs used to wear them when they are going to judge a case on the palace of the pharaohs. So we can go on and on and on and on, and it will take the whole 3 hours. So with that being said, I would like to give thanks to our ancient Egyptians, because they made so much huge contributions to humanity. Without the ancient Egyptians, there are so many things that wouldn't have been discovered today. We are not kicking knowledge. We are not saying ancient Egyptian is this and that. No, we're sharing history, and this history are at least they are as accurate as at least 95% to 100% accurate, because it took King and Queen Radio a lot of time with energy and research to come to this. And we want to thank the Egyptian government for the documentaries, and we also want to give a big shout out to some of the Egyptian scholars that are specialized in Egyptology. We want to thank you guys for the papyrus. Thank you guys for giving us the access to the papyrus, and of course we appreciate. Well, there are so many things they would like to share, the history. There are ones that are not allowed to share. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have talked so much, but I would like to say a little bit of one prayer before we go out. I mean, like before I change this topic, or before we take the commercial break. Sorry, I beg your pardon. We'll take one of this, an appreciation to the ancient Egyptian, once more to the ancient ancestors, our ancient ancestors of Kemet. Hotep di Nasut Osir Mpodi se no peret keru tahen eket kato o kahen ke etu kakao ka atpe tedu kashu kashe su kamen ketu kenet beet neferet wabet ank nete em en ka en I maki makiru dua u ne teru. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I'm struggling to like pronounce some of the words because English has taken over my tongue, and of course my mother tongue today. And guys, I speak a little bit of Yoruba, and guys, and my own little language I speak Pidgin English, which is the general language of Nigeria, and of course I was actually learning what do you call it, Swahili. Along the way it was too much, so I couldn't be it. But some of this ancient language are preserved, and thank God for some of our historians and professors that were able to document some of our historians. So, but I would like to say this before we change this topic, or before we go for the commercial breaks. There are so many attacks on the ancient history of the land of the origin. One of the oldest libraries were in Timbuktu. One was in Egypt. One was in West Africa with the Ashantis. The other libraries were with the Edo people, which is at the Benin, the ancient Benin kingdom, and the Oduduwas. And see, the Nok people, the Nok, N-O-K, they also have their own history. Almost all the ancient civilizations have a place where knowledge are being kept. But you know, when the colonial masters came, much of these histories were destroyed. Like the ancient kingdom of Benin was destroyed by the British. You know, so some of their documentations were burned, the libraries were burned. Of course, when they conquer their kings, you know, when they fight their kings, burn some of their libraries, burn their palaces, you know, and they destroyed so many documentaries, so many powerful documentaries. Some of them that managed to survive, there were some of them that were actually lost, and they are beyond recovering. It is very hard for us to discover, except for some. If you go to Benin today, you can still find some of them in the Oba Palace. Of the Oba Palace, some of the histories are there. Now the Oduduwas too, they have also some of the documentaries. If you go to Ile-Ife, you go to some ancient cities of Ibadan, you go to Oshun, Oyo, Ogun, you know, you can still find some documentaries there. But let me tell you, in case you want to visit, make sure that you keep a pure heart. And of course, you keep a very clean heart before you visit the gods, you visit the ancestors, and then they'll be able to welcome you. If you go there with a different purpose, I don't know what will happen, but this is my advice for you. And our ancient library in Alexandria was destroyed when Alexander the Great conquered Egypt. You know, some of the documentaries were destroyed. The libraries were burnt to the ashes. So it's only few documentations that were preserved in the pyramids, the papyrus, and the rest of them that were discovered. But the library in ancient Alexandria in Egypt was burned. You can Google that and check it for yourself. And now, you know, but I also said this, like the Greeks, they used to come to Egypt to come at school. The same thing happens to the Chinese and to the Arabs. How do you think Arabs found their way in Egypt? And let me also remind you, remember that the mother of the Arab world today is from Hagar, Hagar. She was from Egypt. That was the servant of Abraham. Do you know where Abraham come from? Abraham is a Chaldean. Chaldeans are the families of the ancient Ethiopians, the Chaldeans or the Chaldeans, or however way you want to pronounce it. That is why the Ethiopians look like Arabs, but they are not Arabs. They are the Chaldeans. They have the family of the ancient Chaldeans. Abraham came from there. So Hagar was the slave, or the slave of Abraham. She was helping Sarah doing some domestic work in the house. But Sarah was unable to give birth, and Sarah urged Abraham to lay with Hagar. And that was how Ishmael was born. This is the generation of the RS. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to go deep and deep and deep, but if we go deeper than the ocean, it's going to take much of your time. And of course, we'll keep shedding more light on this. And ladies and gents, I think I would like to draw a curtain for this one. We would like to expatiate subsequently on other shows, So that is that.
Wow, you really answered that, and you really brought us to some great knowledge there. We want to thank you for that. And
Thank you.
wow, the weather
Thank you.
here is beautiful this morning.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying it, and air is so fresh.
Yeah.
And so, what's going on new here in Nigeria? What do you say happening now? And do you feel any changes is happening here in Nigeria since they have the new leader? Let us know what your insight on that.
Okay. It has been a tough time for Nigerians because it's not easy to survive this harsh economy because a lot of things are going on. I would like to congratulate the Honorable President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the GCFR, the first citizen of the country. I would like to appreciate his effort in, restoring a great and a peaceful Nigeria. It has not been an easy task for a leader as such. But we, the citizens, are also praying for him as well. It is not an easy thing to lead the country. We can say certain things, we can make emphasis, we can make beautiful analysis, but if given the chance to rule the country, some of us might even do terrible. So, that's me being honest, But the thing is, there are so many expectations. If you look at if a new president comes in, there is always an expectation of how he's going to perform well. He's going to make the life of the citizens better. He's going to make some certain changes to make the life of the citizens great. And, it is a great expectation. This has always been the narrative for long. But we are looking forward to a greater achievement with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because a lot of Nigerians are already attesting to the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is far better than President Buhari. I wouldn't want to say in terms of comparing negatively, in terms of addressing Nigerian alone. Baba is doing well and he's working hard. And I'm not going to say this as an extremist, but as an activist. I'm saying this with my full chest that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing well. And by the grace of God, we are praying to God that his dream for Nigeria would come true. Because everybody means well, and then until something happens. But then we pray that nothing bad happens, but we pray that everything should go well, because with the situation that is happening in Niger and other countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, those countries and the rest of them, it's a kind of distraction for the Honorable President, because it's a kind of distracting him from performing some of his civic duties in taking care of Nigerians, because now he's having a distraction. He has not taken care of the problem of the fuel situation, electricity, other things, but he just came in. He's not up to 3 months now. He's not up to 3 or 4 months that the Honorable President came in. So I don't think I can judge him right now. I don't think I can use that. He's not up to a year. but I believe that Baba is going to do well, because we've seen his memorandum, we've seen some of his presentations, we've seen his 10-point agendas. So, and by the grace of God, it's going to be different, it's going to be massive. So it's one of those things. So, ladies and gents, we will enjoy some songs and then we come back and continue with the show. Please stay with us.
That's if y'all don't cast. You only with me fit lose God. Now block don't go and the phone no last. Everybody must chop breakfast to collect money, must chop pay back. I got go money, Also many red, I got paid them back. Come on body for Charlie Puppy, Clear road when they live out for me. When you talking money, then you talking voltage. My body electric shock me. Jump to bitches in the nightclub. Give 21, make it like one, cause Pluto is active. So I took out to my room and I start to the banner, la Benz, the banner, la Benz, the banner, the go, la Benz. So I start to the banner, the engine, then I start to the air ram. Never to say when I start to the get time, got all this paper. See, I got all this. So I start to the banner, la Benz, the banner, la Benz, the banner, the go, the banner, la Benz. Then I start to the banner, the engine, then I start to the air ram. Never to say when I start to the get time, got all this paper. Got all this, got all this. Inside say, don't say you mat your chakos, no joy inside there. How you take the Charlie, you the confirm BTC. So you the confirm BTC, and your broker is active. So you say you the confirm BTC. Men mat, that's if you don't want cars, you only men fit lose God. Now plug don't go and the phone no last. Everybody must chop breakfast to collect money, must chop pay back, I got go money, Also many red, I got pay them back. Come on body for Charlie Puppy, Clear road, when they live out for me. When you see no money, then you survive, tell them no. They see me coming, they shout hallelujah. Every day it be like a new year. Overseas they want chop me like suya. I know big dog for this dunya. Tired so greasy, you they dance like breezy, easy. I'm on my wrist, they code, they freeze you. Them know they call me Mr. Money for no reason. I see they go, I'm a piano. We go show, we go let them know. Now we they run the town and any show. We got that any woe, stronger than any foe. Bad man flows, put them on their toes. On the low, they got them know. My belly short, South Jamo, Colorado, pass me the fatty jumbo. Piano, it's a big vibe, but the girls them know. Steadily, heavily. I'm a piano, it's a big vibe, but the girls them know. I need you, baby.
I got love for you. Spend all of my time with you. Anytime that you wanna come through, don't let anybody whine you. Early mama, I'll get you on. Baby, no, baby. Wale dori ajegbese, dori baby, wale dori ajegbese, dori ajegbese. Ole tori eje, tori eje, ole tori eje, tori eje, ole tori eje, tori eje, ole tori eje, tori eje. Yo, oh, I'm on the beat, you know. Why the melodies just they flow? If they come from inside my soul, and you know I love you so. I'm on the beat, Quaqualada. Jenny Colopi, money more peace, Jenny Sinogisha. You know Colopi, my Colopi, money Quaqualada. I enter from my Buddha, Quaqualada. Money more Takasufa.
surface, I want that. I know fit for some if it don't pass my power. I roll up a shawarma, I get for Bakwalata. I enter from Abuja, go Bakwalata. Only motaka surface, I want that. I know fit fast, I don't fit you pass my power. I roll up a shawarma, I get for Bakwalata.
For Maulana, on God, you let me ask God. I live flaming, with my shami, me know we are Charlie. Wahabi, allo, Mukadamu Vado, and you see, would you marry be a manager? Love this song to my shop, love you is a crime. Baby, don't you waste my time. That's my good fuck. My prayers I did forget Bakwalata. Call me Bakwalata.
I enter from Abuja, go Bakwalata. Only motaka surface, I want that. I know fit for some people.
I'm at the point in life, if you understand me or not, misunderstand me or not, me, I'm okay. And if you think I'm wrong or not, long as it's what I want, me, I'm okay. Cause who are you to judge me like say you be holy past? I dey love my life, get my peace of mind, I dey try survive. We all be sinners, my body, nobody holy bad. And my happiness comes first, I never come life to stress, yeah. I be like Terminator, I dey deliver, I pass the doctor. I be like Terminator, I dey deliver, I pass the doctor. I be like Terminator, I dey deliver, I pass the doctor. I be like Terminator, I dey deliver, I pass the doctor.
I don't nobody an explanation. I don't need nobody motivation. Now my happiness consign me. Happiness consign me. Now you consign me. It don't pay. Where no one day could be paid. But right now my happiness consign me. Happiness consign me. Now you consign me. So don't come tell me something I know. You want to dey want me for there. Don't let nobody play with your confidence. Your confidence. Oh, this Sarah, what you be will be. You want to dey want me for there. Don't let nobody play with your confidence. Your confidence. Oh,
who are you to judge me like say you be holy past? I dey love my life, get my peace of mind, I dey try survive. We all be sinners, my body, nobody holy bad. And my happiness comes first, I never come life to stress, yeah.
Tune into the pure tones of blues.
I deliver, you can see my lifestyle. I'm almost up to the sign. Different pattern of my own style, so consistent, no resistance. Without the pack, you can call me a great guy. Steady come down in, I'll be great guy. Man, when sleep, go wake up, this life be like road, I go solo. Come on, say, oh, wale. Ibẹ̀ ló gbé, tí bá mo tí mo máa délé. Táyé lórí rẹ̀ wá ṣeré. Ọmọ náà kò máa ṣeré, ó wálẹ̀. Ibẹ̀ ló gbé, tí bá mo tí mo máa délé. Táyé lórí rẹ̀ wá ṣeré. Satin wọ satin, Paris wọ Berlin. Ká ṣe mí, orí mi máa jẹ ṣẹ̀sín. Ajé mo pè ní, kò jẹ́ mi. Arádúgbò ẹgbà mi, wọ́n ní mo tún ti ṣe mí. Ṣé bóun ẹ fẹ́ ni? Àìsàbí, I no sabi. Party after party, I'm Gucci, Christian, oh my Jesus. I will see you guys soon in the money. I got to go there with my baby. Baby, lean on me. Jẹjẹli. Ọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú sí ṣe jẹjẹ. Ayé fẹ́lẹ̀ ò kà ṣe pẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹgbẹ́ sókè ẹ má jẹ́ ó wálẹ̀. I believe I can see my lifestyle. I'm almost up with a big sign. Different pattern of my own style, so consistent, no resistance. Without the pack, you can call me a great guy. Steady conquering, I'll be great guy. Man, when
DJ Partner.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
For giving me the right to make the right moves. I'm so grateful. Show me say God get me for mine every time I dey open my eyes. He's so blissful. Whenever I see my enemies, they no fit to talk, and I can't deny that I go make them.
Well, you know, like when I discover my research, I came upon something maybe interested to all my Jamaicans out there. I was looking for a connection with Jamaica and Nigeria, because when you look at the feature of a lot of Jamaicans, they resemble us. You know, they resemble Jamaicans.
Yes.
I discovered something very interesting, and I discovered that the Igbos was red-skinned people, a lot of them. Well, we won't say red-skinned, well, we'll say maybe light-skinned, or they was the lighter shade of Africans.
Yes.
And those was the ones that they sent in Jamaica. And when they got in Jamaica, they used to call them the red-skinned people, the redskin. So I did not know that the Igbo tribe was red-skinned people. I always thought that that the Fulani would have been more of the red skin. Can you explain that, or is it, oh well, I guess with all the intermixing during those times in the days.
Yes.
But I experienced something in America, and I want to know if you could tell me a little bit about it, Lot.
Okay, basically, like if you're categorizing, there's a way people have been categorized in Africa, in the modern day Africa today. We have been categorized. We didn't do that, but it has been categorized, and some of those categories help us to discover certain things. But I don't usually like division, and we as a multicultural station, King and Queen Radio, what we do is to bring cultures together. But anyway, for us to talk about things that is going to benefit everybody, we would like to delve into this thing. So Africans have been categorized into two, that is two families, the Niger-Congo family and the Afro-Asiatic family. And remember last time when we spoke about the Igbo people, the Igbo tribe, and I told you, I said they are some of the lost tribes. They are one of the lost tribes of Israel, like they said, even in their own history. It has been said like that. So we have two, the Niger-Congo family and the Afro-Asiatic family. Examples of the Niger-Congo families are the Mande, the Kordofanian, Atlantic, Ejoidi, Kru, Gur, Adamawa, Ubangi, Kwa, and Benue Congo. They are normally below the other parts of Africa, so which is the South Africa, Kenya, Madagascar, so then the Afro-Asiatic family, on the other hand, are languages that speak the Arabic language, for example, is Afro-Asiatic, Hausa, Amharic, Somali, Oromo are spoken by millions of people, while others are endangered with extinction, as as it has been said. So that there are, like, we already talked about the Egyptian family, but this is general, like within so the Igbo people generally, I would say the black people have the capability to create any type of race. Like let me say this, for example, in my own family, one of my elder brother, he's in the military. he is a light skin. He's more light skinned than me, than I am. And I am more light skinned than my dad. You know? So these things are sometimes differences of environment, and then sometimes they are genetically there, and then it's like heredity. You inherit them from your parents, from parents to offspring. So there are light-skinned Igbos and there are dark-skinned Igbos. Just like today, there are Ethiopian Jews, there are black Jews, and there are normal light-skinned Jews. The same thing, you know. And there are times that just like I'll explain it in the next question. Now maybe when you maybe let's say in the next explanation, maybe I'm expatiating more and then I'll shed more light on it. But the Igbo people have their history, and they have they are not mixed. They are not quite mixed for now because there are people that actually intermarried within them, but it's just a small population within them. But they have light skin, and I told you that people lost their melanin with time. Except if your DNA is strong, your genetics is strong, your system is strong. Most of the time, most people, depending on the environment they settle, it affects their melanin. And the Igbo people that you find in Jamaica were shipped. They were shipped by the Europeans into the islands between the 18th and 19th century as enslaved labor on plantations. Remember that Igbo people constituted a large portion of the African population, enslaved people in Jamaica. You know, so Jamaica has received they are the largest amount of slaves from the Biafra region, which is in Nigeria today, and anywhere else in the diaspora during the slave trade. Some slaves, census detailed the large number of enslaved people on various plantations through the island on different dates throughout the 18th century. You know, their presence was as a large part in forming Jamaican culture. You know, if you look at it very carefully, you notice that they also contribute to at least some of the Jamaican cultures. The Igbo cultural influence remains in language, dance, music, folklore, cuisines, religion, and mannerism. Maybe mode of dressing and observation of festivals. You know, and the rest of them. You know, in Jamaica, the Igbo were often referred to as Ebo or Igbo. Ebo or Igbo. You know, there are a substantial number of Igbo language loan words in Jamaican patois, and then Igbo people mostly populated the northwestern section of the island. So I've not been to Jamaica, you know, but I make research and I read books very well. So it's one of those things, and a lot was taken from Africa. A lot of things were taken from Africa. And remember, there's this famous Igbo story that some of the ancestors, as they were being transferred to the Atlantic Ocean, they were in chains, they were in pains, and they told themselves that it is better to die. It's better to die here than to be a slave in another man's country. So what they did was that they held their hands and they jumped into the ocean, and they were singing songs. And it has been said, history has said that those people reincarnated in the Igbo land. They came back. So they died in the ocean, but they took themselves back. They reincarnated back to their own ancestral land. So, but the ones who choose to just let it go were the ones who were taken, were captured. There are so many people that actually fought slavery in different ways. Some of the histories were lost, but the ones that are actually documented are the ones we're sharing, you know. So it's part of history.
Well, now, I don't think the whites had anything to do with this.
Yeah.
But tell me something.
Yeah.
I experienced in America.
Okay.
I had a client to come to me, and she was African.
Okay.
And she told me, Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I had a baby here, and the baby come out kind of brown skin.
Oh, wow.
And I'm afraid to take the baby back to my family because I had the baby by another African, black like me, and the baby come out brown skin, and I cannot take this baby back because the baby, they don't appreciate no other color but pure black.
Wow.
So, Lot, can you explain us a little bit of history with that? Was that really a big problem in the past? If there was brown skinned babies born within the black Africans,
yes,
I guess from the regions they come from, they would get rid of the babies. They was discriminated against. Can you go into a little bit about that? What do you think, and what's your input?
Yes.
And folks, this is not. This is just us talking, and you can participate by writing me African Reader at AOL.com. That's AFRICAN Reader, READER at AOL.com. And if you like any spiritual reader, you know you could call me daily 1+718 253 7273. 1+718 253 7273. Write me African Reader, AFRICAN READER at AOL.com. Maybe you want to have some topics you want to discuss on this program, and you really want to discuss it, let us know. And if you want to donate to us on here, no matter what you can donate, we would appreciate it. A little donation here once in a while, it would really be nice. So getting back to the topic, you can discuss with us a lot. How come was it really a big situation in the skin color that you know of?
I really appreciate that point of view and that question, because I'm also learning so much from that, especially. And what we let me drop a disclaimer here that we as radio personalities and King and Queen Radio on air personalities, OAPs, what we share is based on research and true documentations. And just like we said, we get different rich sources of information before we bring them online, and then we bring them on live. So that is from online, and then you can also get them on books, documentaries, researches, and the rest of them, and then from online, and then we also bring them on live. So to save you the time and stresses of we bring it to you. So to answer that question, you see, there's something in a black woman called the Eve gene. I don't know whether it can be found in any other race in the world, any other woman, but it is a unique gene that can be found only in a black woman. Biology has proven it. You can take your phones and Google it on the internet. The Eve gene, the Eve, the spelling of EVE, the Eve gene, like the mother gene, the first mother, the first woman, which is Eve. Now, the Eve gene can only be found in a black woman. Now, if that gene begins to mutate, there's what we call genetic mutation in biology. Like when I was teaching in one of the schools I was working before in Benin, there's what they call genetic mutation. When the genes of a black woman, especially the Eve gene, begins to mutate, it creates different kinds of race. This is the reason why any kind of race can come out from a black woman. A white race, a black woman can give birth to a white race. Trust me. A black woman can give birth to an albino or albino, or whichever way it can be pronounced. Now, a black woman can give birth to different kinds of race once that gene begins to mutate. This is why the ancient Egyptians consider a woman a portal. Like a woman is a portal. Like, you like a door to the world. Like you have to pass through before you come to this world. It's like a portal. Some people consider women as gods, as sacred beings, because because of the womb. You have to pass through the womb. No matter who you are, you have to. As long as you're a human being, you have to pass through the womb before you come to this world. So some people consider women sacred. Now, the Eve gene of a black woman has a uniqueness on its own that can create any other type of race immediately when it begins to mutate. This is why in 5 to 6 generations of a woman on one specific bloodline, you see different type of people are being created, are being born in that type of race, and you would wonder, where are these people coming from? And then history, DNA will not lie. DNA would never lie. Blood will not lie. So other people will lie. They will say certain things. They will give carbon dating. They will give this and that. History, DNA doesn't lie. History might not be accurate, but blood and DNA will always be right, because that is some of where you can find a good and accurate documentation of human existence. So so that is that. So I think that was what happened to that American lady that consulted you, sister, our mother, Sister Dubon. The thing is, if they come for consultation like this, some of them don't actually know their own history. They don't know their history. Most of people, like most friends that I meet, they'll be surprised to hear that when I talk about some of these ancient mysteries and I talk about it and I share it online, some of my friends actually have been following me on social media platforms because I've been sharing history of my own people, where I come from. Like, so I got most followers from my own place, my own people. Like, so because I choose to, I love the history of my people, so I always tell the stories of my own people, the way it has been passed from the previous generation down to us. So we are supposed to hold it very well and make sure that these histories are not lost, pass them to the next upcoming generation. So it has to be like that. So ladies and gents, let's enjoy some songs once again, and then we come back and continue the show. But before we go for this commercial break, before we go for the break, you would like to join us on 718-253-7273 +1 718-253-7273 from anywhere around the world. You'll be able to join us live, or you'll be able to drop messages on our social media platforms. Don't forget, we're live anytime we go live. All the social media platforms are live at the same time. So enjoy some songs, and then we come back and continue with the show.
But I know carry my money, make we go faji. Baby, waiting so touch my wicked point, oh. Make them throw me bones, say me I go take it out, oh. If them make them talk, oh. Make them talk rumors, oh. Make them throw me bones, say me I go take it out, oh. Baby, make you no do go, oh. You take anything where you want, I be talk and do. Money too long, you get back to. I know say you dey feel me, so no good, they mess up. Girl, you dey reason me one kind, any day pay me, oh, any day pay me. Now cash where you want to go way below. Girl, if you ever for my hand, that thing go change me. Don't say it go change me. If I go ever love you, now baby, oh, if I ever hurt you, girl, I'm sorry. Oh, my baby, no go leave me for lose a day. My Annabella's in now, only you they know me, oh. But I know carry my money.
Whoa, man, God, I beg. I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller.
I started with the freestyle, bro. That money me did for big signboard. I just dropped the hit song, not quite long. Now God, they give me this platform. Our low, our new cash come. We know they wait for midnight, so you don't want me, put the touchlight up. We know be fish, tell me why they want titles. Shamakazo, 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 Omolukuru ragazo, Omolukuru ragazo, Shamakazo, 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 Omolukuru ragazo, Shamakazo, Shamakazo.
Mami, look what you back up. See what your logo stack up. Ojú ẹ̀jẹ̀ no be tampon. Fatality because of you dem back up. Ọ̀dà lọ ẹni ọ̀gbẹ́ mi kò ṣàkọ̀. Ògo tó lọ fà, ó padà ṣá. Ògo tó rush, àwọn ayé fẹ́ tà. Ìràwọ̀ ńlá, you be the marshal. 7-star general yam tabasha. Ọ̀rẹ́ òde nu agbára wa bí koroba. Ìdààmú àdúgbò ọmọ ló gbà ló gbà. Gàtọ́ lọ jẹ́ kán ṣe wérewère. Tí ká ṣe pátápátá sí fèfèlè.
Shamakazo, 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 Omolukuru ragazo, Omolukuru ragazo, Shamakazo, 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 Omolukuru ragazo, Shamakazo, Shamakazo. Where the money, where the calculator? For my cabbage, you just no play Jesus. I know if you buy me, I know if you take off. The Coney Badger, I am repping Lagos. Modernization, for money pressure, street orientation. Tabanisha for money occupation. Voices in my head. Let's see about me, Lubis. All I'm your pilot. This money is too expensive. For real, for sure.
Like how you do. No come here, come do no juru. You won't play me, bang bang golo. You dey eye me like I'm Uncolos, Uncolos. Deep down inside my kidney, I love you and I'm not kidding. Oh, when you find die, I'm a fly guy. I know I'm a shy guy, but I'm a sharp guy. No come here, come do no juru. You won't play me, bang bang golo. You dey eye me like I'm Uncolos, Uncolos. Cheeky, give me every time you love me, 'cause I'm loving you every day. Nobody knows tomorrow, but I could be by your side anyway. Anyway, the matter be about. Anyway, the matter.
Girl, you don't change my persona. The revelation is in order. All the pressure I've been under. Why I call you Ngozi? God don't bless me Ngozi. No deserve is kind loving. The loving way you show me. Private lounging on Paris with expensive room service. No one make me do like this.
King and
Girl, I
Queen
got
Radio.
you, no worries, no worries. They do me wow wow. Scatter my internal. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of this out. My protection in the lala. Every no desire. No killing me kitana. They do me wow wow wow. Scatter my internal. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of this out. My protection in the lala. Every no desire. No killing me kitana.
I know you're waiting around hastily to you. In my Panamera, hola, hola. I'm levitating, I feel like Susie when you whisper na kupenda. The thing you put for this your dollar. Got my heart and my soul on love. And I wanna go crazy with you. Through the night till the sun come on. Let's do it all for love. There's no tea for any corpora. I never wanna lose this. To you I belong. This must be love.
They do me wow wow. Scatter my internal. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of this out. Attention in the lala.
Tune into the king of songs and blues.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me. 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 I'm sorry for who won't be my matter. Sorry, I'm only human. So make nobody para. Say I carry woman. She na man where I for carry. Fuck all the rumors. And he said when I talk say I be pastor.
You're listening to King and Queen Radio.
It is not I got to call only Coco. They are the I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
Don't take my life. I don't have no time, Saya. Come see me shining. got too many birds on my IG. Changing my life, oh. How my mama proud of me. She got me going. This friend took all my freedom. Cause I'm a hit for better. Straight for the ones like you. Got your last, got a deep banana. I'm a quit for better. Straight for the ones like you. Got your last, got a deep banana. Cause I'm a quit for better. Straight for the ones like you.
Wọ́n pè mí ọmọ bàbá lówó. If you don't know, make you ask àdúgbò. Pẹ̀lú dé body, I been doing this in London. Ìbànújẹ́ o, kó má ṣe wá sọ́dọ̀ wa. Whatever you do, hope say you dey make me rama. I no get time for wahala, I dey give it. I'm on my way, láti jayé o. Lálẹ́ Friday o, ibi ṣe ọmọ wẹ́ o. I'm on my way to you, láti jayé o. Lálẹ́ Friday o. 50-50 we go share am, I no like o.
Tune into the king of songs and blues.
23, 24, she be I tell them before me, they stop to defend the fall. She like, yeah, one bong, you don't be the rubber, I'm out for the ball. Tell me what to do, I can't do, me I no skid that do. Tell me what to do, I no fian to. Then bad with my bad room, boy I got a can do. Then small shut up and do. Walking poetry, I am greater. Walk over to Basca, Nagasca, what I love ya. Now one no time for drama. Walking poetry, I am greater. Walk over to Basca, Nagasca, what I love ya. Now one no time for drama. Hey Chapo, Ebenezer obey the commander. Come on, the duty. I'm on one, what do you ginger? I'm guilty, that's my swag, the queue. I don't go appeal, no it's hard to swallow the pill. Then I gym, there I am, you do I kill. Shout out to my space, my mama, she be my queen. Oh go, I love Mogo, I know Ugo, don't Ugo. I'm a call, no the fuck up, Loco, Omoko, on the rock, you know my tongue for your con, yeah. All I saw me, 52 party, I too bad. You could feel like all those two drag. I know the booker, be booker, never lose, God, 10 case you will be the do right. Study me, I know, John, I get many pages like songs and so on. All I know be Muhammad, could you like to reach, I don't know. 23, 24, she be I tell them before me, they stop to the 24. She like, yeah, one bong, you don't be the rubber, I'm out for the ball. Tell me what to do, I can't do, me I no skid that do. Tell me what to do, I no fian do. Then bad with my bad room, boy I got a can do. Then small shut up and do. Walking poetry, I am greater. Walk over to Basca, Nagasca,
what I love ya. Everything not day like it did before. I don't know you're working from 9 to 4. I go to take them and you never come. Cause somebody be trying to take all of me from me. Man, I don't know what to think. Make I no go poco, me take fair blow. But I no go let go. I lay on my 10 toes, forever we go settle. No go let the devil call up be my happiness. And that's some G for me. I see they call you honey, but you know picking my call no more. You know they picking my call no more. No more, don't you pick it in my heart. I've been calling, you know they pick up. You know they pick up. No more, don't you pick it in my heart. I've been calling, you know they pick up. If I ever did you wrong, check him out. Cause I know if you take this pain anymore. Go got to shit for me, if they get to me. Need my mental health very strong. What you want? Tell me what do you want? I've been dreaming for 2 months, but I still no hear no compliment. Worry me till fair blow, but I no go let go. I did on my 10 toes, forever we go settle. No go let the devil call up be my happiness. And that's some G for me. I see they call you honey, but you know picking my call no more. You know they picking my call no more. No more, don't you pick it in my heart. I've been calling, you know they pick up. You know they pick up. No more, don't you pick it in my heart. I've been
Tune into the king of songs and blues.
Well, I know everybody's out there. We're getting through this program, and at the same time, you're thinking of what is the best things to wear. A lot. You have any style of clothing? Any maybe brands of clothing that is very popular in Lagos, in certain regions that everybody wear? Is it appropriate? Because we have so many foreign people listening, learning about Africa, that's why we call it Africa is awake, because we want the whole world to know we woke up and we are back and we are reclaiming what's our. Africa is awake. So again, just think all the beautiful nature and the beautiful things African have, so much richness, so much mineral. God blessed it paradise. And we have to make it back to paradise it's supposed to be. And that's bringing everything back to its natural form. Other people came in Africa, plundered through the land, changed things the way they wanted to change it. And it's time for us to wake up. And Africa is awake now, and people are claiming back what's theirs. You know, it's so important, so much land and stuff. In the olden days in Africa, there was like, you knew where the land was by your family and your ancestors. You just knew. But have it changed very much in Africa with the marking of the land. Now they do it the modern way now, like in America has a certain pole or fence and you don't cross it. How does that go now in Africa when it comes to land in Africa and owning land? And do you think now it's the best thing to invest in land in Africa, and would it be cheap? And what will it do to the economy here in Africa if foreigners start investing in the country and buying up the land? Will that damage Africa, or will it bring Africa back into the economy, and Africa again can be able to get richer with other foreigners investing in the land in the country?
It depends on the field at which you want to invest. You want to invest in agricultural sector, you want to invest in education sector, or you want to invest in creativity and industry and entertainment, which King and Queen Radio is already investing in Africa, to supporting artists, raising upcoming artists and the rest of that. That is another different type of an investment on its own. But if you want to do an official type of investment that has to do with an industrial pattern or in an industrial scale of investment, it has to be it has to be official, like it has to be officiated with proper arrangement and documentation. Now, like for example, if you want to invest in agriculture, for example, in Africa, especially in Nigeria, for example, you would need a piece of farmland, maybe a very big piece of farmland where they will be doing mechanized farming for you. But most often, if you want to invest in Africa, then you have to supervise it yourself, because a lot of people are going to play with your business. So the thing is, you have to monitor it yourself very, very well. You find somebody that you can truly trust, and when it comes to the issue of handling matters, I'm saying this because there are a lot of people that are listening to us right now that maybe they will have an interest of investing in Africa, which is a good thing and is futuristic, because it's something that you would benefit in the future, something that will help you and your family. So and another thing, the mood of dressing in African society is changing with time because of the popular culture, the modern day society and modernization. So change is constant. Change affects everything in the world. Remember, like I always say, when we begin this program, even since last year, when I was saying, when we were talking about change. So change is constant. Change is a constant phenomenon that affects everything. So with time, change will affect everything. So our mode of dressing in Africa is more of like, Africans can dress based on occasions. They can dress casually. They can dress in terms of how it is depending on maybe an event they are going, or an occasion, or something they want to attend, or wedding ceremony or something. So it depends on how they dress. But the pattern of modern dressing has been revolutionized in Africa, and especially music has been the major influence in changing the navigation for fashion industry in Africa, and especially in Nigeria. In terms of fashion, we are doing very well. And our people are dressing very well, and we still maintain our cultural dressings and attires. I think very soon we will start posting some of the different cultural attires on our pages, so that our people will see. And if you also have your cultural attires of your own people, send it to africanreader@aol.com together with the documentary of your own people and where the location is, and then we will share it on the pages. Please do that, and it's going to go a long way, because we as a multicultural station, we always make sure that we keep to that. So it's changing, the society is changing, and most of our dressing is changing. The conduct of peer pounding, the street language that we use, is also changing with time. So it's all about time and change.
Okay, I'm so happy to be here this morning, Lot. And again, I says, well, it's about time to tell us what is good to have for something later on in the evening. What is good we can have today will be good for today. You think a soup, something good. Give us a good recipe out there, so everybody could, put something together.
Yes.
Okay, when they're coming from work, they can put something together. So give us a good recipe.
Yeah, so I would recommend recipes that, it depends. I think in our own generation, I would strongly recommend that people eat respective of their own age. I will not encourage people to be gluttons at certain age. I myself, I was part of that gluttony. I had to stop it because it was a bad habit. I eat 2 times in the morning, 2 times. That was like 5-6 years ago or so. So I had to stop because of my physical well-being. So I developed that habit, and then my body system adjusted to the way I condition it. So in the morning, I recommend, and so many people do recommend in Nigeria, this is how it has always been in Nigeria. Sometimes Nigerians will wake up in the morning, take a light breakfast, and majority of Nigerians don't even care about their menus. They wake up and eat solid foods and heavy foods, and depending on where life takes them to. So but I am recommending. This is not like, we're not forcing it on you. We're not telling you what to eat. We are just recommending. And if you're at the age of 18, from the age of 18 to 30, you eat light in the morning. You take something light in the morning, and maybe something followed by some greens and vegetables in the afternoon, and then something at least in the evening time before the night. And don't forget, you always eat before 9 p.m. Eat at least maybe before 9 p.m. because most often you eat past 9. Some people eat 9 p.m. in the night, and then the food doesn't digest. Most often it stays in the stomach there and it doesn't go. So it has happened to me many times, unless if I don't sleep immediately. So, but most often I will recommend people to eat early. Like maybe if it is in the morning, you would want to eat. Some people fast. I personally fast in the morning. I only eat in the afternoon and in the evening time, and sometimes I don't even eat in the afternoon. But it depends on what I want to maybe achieve. If I want to write something, if I'm writing something, sometimes I will even forget that I've not eaten, and then time keeps going. It keeps rolling. It keeps going on. So I would strongly recommend something light in the morning, really something warm, something hot in the morning, whether it is pap, whether it is kunu, whether it is tea, whether it's coffee or anything. You can take something light in the morning. If you want to eat, some people eat rice in the morning, just small. Another thing is the quantity at which you eat. At which you eat, the quantity of food at which you eat matters a lot. If it is too much, the body doesn't need too much of it, just few. And remember the body digests this food completely in 24 hours. So whatever you eat, it is who you are. Just watch what you eat. The food we eat are the real medicines that take care of our body system. So you can go for something nice in the morning and avoid too much of fried foods in the morning. Too much of fried food, and avoid sugar. Sugar, is one of the reasons why so many people fall sick. I wouldn't want to say certain things because it's some people's business, but then avoid sugar as much as possible. Even if you're taking it, just take it. You can go for natural honey, or even if you're taking sugar, let it be very, very minimal, very small, because it has passed through an industrial process that might not be very safe and conducive for the body system. So whatever you eat, just make sure you eat healthy and eat natural foods. Like me, 90% of what I eat is natural. If I'm taking a soup, I'll make sure that the soup contains a lot of vegetables, and then I avoid meat. I don't like meat. I sometimes I go for fish. Most often I eat my food like that, local. I don't eat meat. So most often, because meat is adding to the flesh of your system, I would recommend that you eat some fish, drink a lot of water, exercise well, and take natural foods. And then it will go a long way in helping you, my brothers and sisters out there. And so a big shout out to all our listeners all over the world. A big shout out to my friends in South Africa, our friends of King and Queen Radio in South Africa, in Kenya, Namibia, Somalia, Djibouti, Mali, Burkina Faso, our listeners from Niger. Please, we pray for peace, and you guys need to keep it locked and keep it 100, and make sure you spread and preach peace, because the world is not in the era of war. We are in the 21st or almost 22nd century right now. So the world has evolved. We are not supposed to be fighting. We're supposed to be advancing in technology, and we're supposed to be building. We're supposed to be growing fast to another world, of growth and success and prosperity. And so we're not supposed to be fighting. So peace and blessings to all our brothers and sisters in Niger. A big shout out to all of you out there.
Lot, don't forget.
Yeah.
Well, we got all these beautiful artists and all this nice music being played by DJ Pop Mark. And don't forget, wow, the show he did this Friday was amazing. I mean, I couldn't stop dancing. Folks, you got to tune in to have a DJ here. DJ Pop Mark, you can do it like you're doing tonight. Every Friday from 1 in American time, because I'm over in the States, from 1 to 3, we go crazy in America to listen to KingandQueenRadio.com to hear the Afro beats with DJ Pop Mark. And boy, he be getting down, down, down. So we want to say this morning to you, Pop Mark, you're doing a great job. We love you all, and continue playing that good music for today, because you got these people jumping. And I want to say a shout out to our whole team out there. We love you all out there, and all our supporters and all our beautiful ladies that support Marianne and everyone that's supporting us out there. We just want a beauty queen, Nassim, and everybody just keeping it going. Thank you. Yes, what we want our show, Africa is Awake, and we want to wake up with everybody all over the world. We awaken with everybody, so Africa is awake. And Lot, we awake right now. And what do you think some of the biggest resources Africa, Nigeria have right now to offer the world, and it can come a better place, Nigeria?
Okay, the one they recently discovered was lithium. Lithium is one of the most expensive mineral resources you can get all over the world. Is more expensive than gold recently. And there's another one they discovered in Nigeria. They call it Californium or something, but we will make more research on that. But the one that has been discovered in Nigeria is lithium, and it's expected to be the need for lithium is going to grow, because all the technology industry, the tech industries are using lithium for their batteries. they use it for battery because it stays for a longer period of time. So lithium is being discovered in Nigeria just recently. So Nigeria is about to become a wealthy nation, maybe in a few years to come, once the government starts harnessing it properly for the well-being of the citizens. We hope that this is going to go a very good and long way in helping the country. Lithium has been discovered, like I said, California was discovered, and petroleum was also discovered in other parts of the country as well. And other mineral resources are being discovered silently. Nigeria is about to make it happen, So we're calling on all our brothers and sisters out there in the States, especially if you have an opportunity, come to Africa and invest. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to come to Nigeria. You can go to somewhere where you consider it low risk, where the risk is very low, and then you can invest in another place. Even in Nigeria, you can still invest, except that for the kind of impression some people have already, so they need a very good conviction before they will be able to invest. So that's the thing. So Africa is safe for investment and is open. Africa is one of the only continents you can come at any time and visit at any time. So it's one of those things.
Now I heard so much before, a lot about the telephone. Do you think there's ever going to be any changes with the rating on the telephones? Will they ever improve the lights? What's going on to that? And what's going on? Are they building anything different in Nigeria for the lights? And tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
Recently the president of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, met a recent speech on his speech when he was listing his agendas for the country, the things he have in mind for Nigerians. Electricity is one of them. Constant power supply. I am praying that one day we have a nuclear power plant in Nigeria, where electricity supply will be 24 hours every day. But unfortunately for now, we don't have a power plant, nuclear reactor in Nigeria. We don't have that. But if we can have a nuclear reactor in Nigeria, it will be able to generate electricity for Nigerians 24 hours, unstoppable electricity. That's how it is being done in uninterrupted power supply in other countries. This is what they do to generate electricity for their country, and it's usually it goes a long way in helping them. It creates employment and job opportunity for other people, because most of that is going to make people to have their own. They become self-employed by doing which the energy is energy that you get, and then you use it to work and take care of other businesses that you have. So I think the Nigerian government, the present administration, is working on that. I don't know for now, but every Nigerian is keeping an eye on the present administration.
And I know, folks, we talked about a lot. We got to save some for next week. Yes. And don't forget, you got to go to my YouTube, share and like right now. That's on YouTube, Sister Dubong Prayers. Sister Dubong, Prayers, Prayers. So, again, I want to thank you all. I had a great day here. Rather a morning here, because it's day, almost turning day, so it's morning. Good morning, everyone. And don't forget, you could tune in to me over in the States, and that's every Monday from 9 to 3 a.m. on KingandQueenRadio.com, BrooklynStation.com, and check out SisterDebong.com right now. On SisterDebong.com, you have problems in your life, you can get all the remedies there. You can get lucky numbers there. And if you're having any spiritual problems or going through any situation, want your loved one back, want to see yourself gain more money, want to lose weight, well, give me a call. That's +1 718 253 7273. And if you can't get me, go on SisterDubong.com. look up all of the remedies and prayers. You'll find one that can help you with your problem. So if you can't get me and you're long distance or wherever you're at, go on sisterdubon.com, and there's the remedies, the prayers to help you. It will help you gain weight. There's so many different ones. So go check out sisterdubon.com and like the page.
Yeah, one of the best ways you can lose weight without having any side effect is to follow the guidelines of Sister Dubon. You can visit www.kingandqueenradio.com or www.sisterdubon.com, and then you'll be able to see all the documentaries, all the prayers, the special prayers, and all the details about horoscope and psychic readings. And any other thing that you would need to know about spirituality, you will check sisterdubon.com. And of course, if you're out there, you want to support King and Queen Radio, we have a donation page where you can go on King and Queen Radio. You see donate now. You'll be able to donate from there and support King and Queen Radio in all the ramifications of the research purposes, the presentations, the programs we're doing. If you like what we do from any part of the world, you can donate to us, and we appreciate all your effort. Well, we always give out peace and blessings anytime we come on live, and anytime we come on air, we make sure that we give you out the best of the program. So we hope that you enjoy this program. It has always been a pleasure giving you the best of the program. And of course, our big artists out there, we have artists, King and Queen Radio artists, that we pin their links on our pages, kingandqueenradio.com. All our artists are there. David Brown, Smoke's Kitchen, DJ Pat Max, Jolly Boy, there are many of them. You just go to kingandqueenradio.com, the page, you'll be able to see them there, and then you'll be able to support our artists without any stress. And so big up to you, our brother from Ghana, Mayfrey 14, Trigger Fire. A big shout out to you out there, of course. And it's one of those things. Please don't miss King and Queen Radio programs for anything. We have 24 hours music play non-stop, Monday to Sunday. All kinds of music. When I say all kinds of music, I mean different and all types of music for your listening pleasure, to enlift your soul and spirit and mind. All right. So that is what we have for you today.
Well, I'm going to get out of here and let Lot continue, unless somebody knock in the door in a couple minutes, a surprise guest, and want to come on here real fast. If not, folks, I'll see you on King and Queen Radio. That's Monday night from 9 to 3 a.m. on kingandqueenradio.com, brooklynstation.com, sisterdubon.com. And Lot, I'm going to let you take it over, and I'm going to say adios.
Okay.
Adios for now.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's always been a pleasure and honor to host the program right by your right wing. We're making sure that we bring people the best of the program, because there's no any other station does it better than King and Queen Radio, Brooklyn Station, and of course Sister Dubon. We have a very great show. We had a great show. If you have any questions, if you have any opinion regarding to what we do or what we say on radio, you want to ask us, you want to give us your opinion, you have an observation, you can drop us a message at africanreader@aol.com. That's the email. That's the official email for Sister Dubon, or the official email for the radio station, africanreader@aol.com. And then we also have other packages, other programs that are coming up on Friday. Is Afrobeat special by DJ Pat Max, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. West African Time. So don't forget, our show, Monday night show, is always 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course from 5 a.m. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. because it's actually like the programs are into two. And then what we do from here is from 5 a.m. Nigerian West African time to 8 a.m. in the morning. So we're always here. We'll always be here to make sure that we give you the best of the program. So it is time for us to say good morning and goodbye for today. We will see you again at the same time, same station. See you next week. Goodbye.
From Monday to Monday. Smokes mix in the kitchen.
Give me time and your space. Make all up for the place. I not gonna ever down for your love. Oh. I give you all that you dream of. More than a good, she nice. She give me all the melody and vibes. More than a good, she nice. Oh, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, that loving, that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Some of them are young, some of them are snitching. She be my melody, I've been searching. She's the fine girl I've been searching for, yeah, yeah. I'ma get Eminado. She fine past 3, mommy, what now? Your waist personality, they cause kata kata. Oh, I'm tempting to touch
King
your
and
body.
Queen Radio.
You don't know, you gon' know. Loving you is all I want to do. Oh, oh. Make you know, come turn me to moo. Oh, I'ma get shake it like that, like a dart for me, Jaji. Come rotate it for your Zadi, yeah. Black drop top Maserati, yeah. I'ma get shake it like that, though, like a dart for me, Zadi. Come rotate it for your Zadi, yeah. Black drop top Maserati, oh. Give me that loving, give me that loving, that loving, that loving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me that loving, give me that loving, yeah, yeah. Give me time on your side, make all up for the way. Christy, look at you. I'm a good, she nice. I'm a good, she nice. Give me that love, yeah. Give me that love, give me that love, give me that love, give me that love, yeah.
Can mix. Sister Dubong, the true original African reader and advisor, has reunited loved ones and families, helped many prosper in business, brought favor in difficult court cases, helped with the most desperate problems where many have failed.
Call me, Sister Dubong, at 718-253-7279.